I would definitely have to say that one of the most evil characters in the Star Wars Skywalker saga has got to be Emperor Palpatine and Supreme Leader Snoke. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of people are very interested in when it comes to Episode 9 is, of course, exactly how J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio will be able to add in a lot of prequel trilogy continuity and have this movie connect to the prequels and the originals that will supply a lot of answers to certain questions about some of the existing characters in the sequels. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with a moment between Kylo Ren, Supreme Leader Snoke, and Emperor Palpatine. Specifically, a description of Supreme Leader Snoke appearing just as he did in The Last Jedi with his golden robes and injuries. It's implied the sequence takes place before the events of The Force Awakens, as it describes Ben Solo is next to Snoke in torn Jedi robes and appears disheveled. While Snoke is sitting in his throne and Kylo standing next to him, they are examining a large hologram. The next goes over a rear view of both Kylo and Snoke, watching an enlarged Palpatine hologram, very similar to what fans saw in Empire Strikes Back in front of Darth Vader. It's described that Palpatine is delivering dialogue about Darth Vader, and that Snoke is showing Kylo who his grandfather really was, and who made him the legend that he became. However, it's said that the hologram is in color and does not have a blue hue. The enlarged Palpatine hologram in front of Snoke is described as being projected from the ceiling, and is the Palpatine fans saw at the very end of Revenge of the Sith. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this that are really making me very intrigued about what J.J. Abrams plans to do and what he's toying around with when it comes to implementing a lot of prequel trilogy continuity. Now, the real thing that does interest me is how this version of Palpatine is the version that we saw in, of course, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And if you look at Palpatine in the prequels, and if you also look at him in Return of the Jedi, you can see a lot of major differences. You know, one of the major differences for Palpatine between the prequels and the originals is that in the originals, he's more frail looking, right? He's more bony and skinny. In Episode 3, he seems more full and not as frail as he was in the originals. That's because of everything due to age and probably the dark side taking over even all the more so throughout the decades. So the thing that also caught my eye is how it describes on one of the holograms is actually colored. It's not the blue hue that we all see in a lot of the Star Wars movies. Now you can see the transition that Disney and Lucasfilm are trying to make in order to make these cameos feel a whole lot more lifelike as if they are really there, right? They started doing this with Darth Maul in Solo: A Star Wars Story, where you could actually see the red paint on his face, yet the blue hue is still there. But now in Episode 8, or should I say in Episode 9, we do get to see a version of Palpatine's hologram where it's all in full color, and it's actually enlarged, meaning it's basically Palpatine from the chest up in a very big hologram in front of both Snoke and Kylo Ren, similar to what we saw in Empire, where Palpatine's hologram is enlarged in front of Darth Vader, delivering the news about his son, Luke Skywalker. You can see the parallels now that J.J. Abrams is trying to make, because in this scenario, the Palpatine hologram that Snoke is actually demonstrating to Kylo Ren is actually delivering dialogue about his own grandfather, Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker, who he really was, and the man responsible for turning his grandfather to the dark side of the Force. So that's where things get very interesting, because I think that's where things lie in a big mystery right now, right? Exactly how did Ben Solo learn more about his grandfather besides the fact that Leia, basically sent him the message about his grandfather, Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. If you guys read the book Bloodline by Claudia Gray, you will realize that once she is basically exposed as the daughter of Darth Vader, that's when she has to deliver the news to Ben Solo. But aside from that, on Snoke's end, there's a mystery as to exactly what Snoke taught Kylo Ren about Darth Vader through some of the actual Sith lore that he actually owns inside of his throne room and inside of the Supremacy ship. So with that being said, you can see all the different connections that J.J. Abrams is really trying to make between this and, of course, the prequel trilogy era in order to advance the characters of Kylo Ren, Snoke, Luke Skywalker, you name it. And honestly, I think it's a great move. I think it's a step in the right direction as long as it's demonstrated and basically, you know, executed in a right way where it'll truly resonate with fans and just make a whole lot of sense. Like I say, you can't throw in nostalgia, you can't throw in fan service for no reason at all. You have to actually have a lot of substance, purpose, and meaning to it in order to create an emotional impact on the audience. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.